I am actually very curious though about y'all's opinions. And I think I mentioned earlier y'all's opinions on Microsoft acquiring Activision and Blizzard, and
Shit, I'm excited.
where do you think it's
For
gonna go with it? Where are they gonna go with it though? What are they gonna do? Tim even said in his stream earlier. He said if Microsoft, of course, down the road, he doesn't expect it to be instantaneous. He said that he could very well see himself going back to Overwatch if Microsoft can do something good with it. He's excited.
This is this is my thing. I am going to trust Microsoft, right? I'm going to trust Microsoft because I think that they have a lot more resources and a lot more money to allocate to these places to get them up and running to what they used to be when games weren't so expensive to make.
Yeah.
I think, but my thing is that they can't go through and just start changing everything they need.
They're not going to right off the bat. I feel like they're gonna. I feel like their biggest moneymaker, obviously, is they need to figure out what the fuck if they want to keep World of Warcraft. Like, obviously, that's going to be a really big one. They need to fix. They need to fix that immensely. I don't say bring it to console, but they need to fix that immensely and get. They lost like millions of subs when all that went down. They need to figure out what the fuck with that. They need to get Call of Duty, in my opinion, off of the yearly release. They need to go back to making it like an actual game instead of just a rebrand every year.
I don't think, depending on what I've been hearing, bro, this year's gonna be so tough. I don't know. Like the next one is going to have to be the best one since I'd say Ghost for competitive and Black Ops 2, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 4 hubs.
You did hear what they were saying that Vanguard's sales were so poor that they want to release Call of Duty early this year, and they're going to go ahead and do the remaster of Black Ops 2 in hopes of bringing Call of Duty back from the dead.
Do not remaster Black Ops 2.
I'm just telling you.
They've already done a remaster of Black Ops 2 and it failed because the game is outdated.
I'm just saying.
Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1, and any old style COD like that needs to be left alone. If you want to remaster it and do it as a free thing, that's fine. But you need to focus more on what the next game is going to have, right?
Yeah.
Listen to the fans, listen to the pros. On launch, and I mean on launch, Halo did it, and Halo has zero funding compared to what.
They also have really no content. I mean, they took them a while to release the campaign and whatnot, but they have. I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say. Continue. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Oh, he's very low. I got you. My bad. There you go.
This is my thing. If they're going to do, if Microsoft is going to take over Activision, they're going to go over COD. I need Microsoft to listen to the fan base. I need Microsoft to go through and one, hire all the casters that need to be hired for competitive COD. I need them to go through and I need them to launch a ranked play.
I'm coming down from a Red Bull high. I am
launch,
exhausted.
there should be no reason why there isn't a ranked play system.
I completely agree. That is, I feel like, especially with the hardcore fans like you, I mean, you literally said from the get-go you didn't want to get Vanguard until they did this and that. But yeah, I think you ended up getting it anyways because of friends, but
yeah, I mean,
shooting yourself in the foot.
I can't justify any reason why we didn't launch with a ranked play system.
They didn't care. They cared about Warzone. They care about Warzone because that's where all the big content creators are. That's where Tim and Nick. Go ahead.
And I understand that from a content creation standpoint, for sure. Warzone is like the only battle royale. I mean, aside from the recent giant leap with Fortnite, is the only battle royale that's held viewership even throughout its like entire span.
Yep.
What I don't understand is why you're going to kill the game that started that one.
You have mad respect for games that hold off on releasing to better develop the game. It's disappointing, but at least we have a great game that way. I completely agree, but at the same time, it can be a double-edged sword. Cyberpunk, for example, I'm still really upset about that. We're not going to get into that.
That's a...
Jordy, why are you ignoring me? Jesus
I'm
Christ.
not.
And Helonius with the
God.
hosted stream. Good lord. I appreciate the host. I just peed a little. Good
Holy
God.
shit.
Yeah.
Let's go, bro.
Let's go. Wow.
Let's go.
I would dance, but I'm kind of like a deer in headlights right now. I appreciate you guys. Welcome. I don't know what to do with my hands. Welcome.
Let's go,
Good
dude.
God. Yeah, wow. Cyberpunk was BS though. I'm gonna go back to that. I'm so upset about that. And the absolute, like, every way possible. I literally built my current gaming PC so I could enjoy Cyberpunk the way it was meant to be enjoyed. And I enjoyed it, don't get me wrong, but like it wasn't anything like what they promised. Oh my
No.
gosh, I appreciate you, Angelonius. What in the world? I don't know what to do with my hands. I will have a fantastic stream. Again, I appreciate the host so much. Thank you. Absolutely thank you. I'm gonna cry myself to sleep now. You guys have a good rest of your stream, okay? I'll catch you guys later. The release was terrible. They released way too early, and right as a new console release, like they should have held off. I agree. At the same time, they felt like, coming from like their perspective, they felt like they had pushed it off way too long because they literally pushed it off for what, like a decade. So they just didn't want to make people wait anymore but they still had way too much on their plate. They still keep talking about adding multiplayer. So I don't know. Like they just had way too much that they wanted to implement that they didn't have, I guess, the time or like Void was saying earlier, resources to do so. Unfortunately, how do they have that many bugs in release? Yeah,
And you go ahead. Sorry.
Nah, you're fine. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So the thing that I always like to bring up, especially related to Cyberpunk, Cyberpunk even released with all the bugs. Like people forget that The Witcher 3 released with just as many bugs, with just as many breaks.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is that they didn't give up with The Witcher, and they just completely gave up on Cyberpunk. I mean, it was so much more overhyped, and just didn't do anybody any favors by letting it sit in the state that it was, even with that update that was supposedly supposed to change everything.
Bro, don't get me started on.
The game felt unpolished. It felt unfinished. And if the game was going to release like that, then they released it to get money to fund the new gens, and then they didn't even allocate the sources to new gen consoles.
Absolutely.
But the fact that it's been almost a year, right? Over a year since Cyberpunk 2077 dropped, and there's not a new gen console play, or the fact that it doesn't even run that well on PC in the first place. It's just crazy to me that they could do that and expect good results.
As far as like the very, like, I agree with you except for the very, very last part. I agree that like it doesn't feel finished. There was so much that they promised that wasn't in the game, and I've beat the game twice and I don't even have 70 hours in the game. So like that is nothing like, and I did a lot of the side quests. I did not have any issues with this game until they started pushing out patches. So the PC version, I feel like, is what they focused on. They focused on the PC. They could care less about current gen, which at the time was PS4 and Xbox One. And they didn't really focus. They were hoping, from what it looks like to me, they were hoping they could just port over the PC version and it would look just as good and run just as well on next gen consoles. That's the vibe that I got. But I also agree with you, Ree, on The Witcher 3. I didn't play it for a good while. I still have never finished it, but I agree that it's a really beautiful game, and I probably put like 70 hours into it last year or the year before. A lot of main RPG players cannot stand the story and options they gave, and romance options are lacking. Cyberpunk. Yeah, honestly, they threw in like there aren't really any side romance missions like at all, especially if you're looking in like in comparison to like Mass Effect. I, again, haven't finished Mass Effect, but from my understanding, Mass Effect, you can pretty much date, like, anybody. Like, you can't do anything on Cyberpunk at all. Not in that sense. I'm sure there's mods and stuff, but I don't know. You have 140 hours on The Witcher? Good lord.
I probably got around that many. Dude,
wow.
Because, like, once you beat it the first time, you can do New Game Plus. It's just so good, man.
And there's just, the world feels a lot more finished, even just, traveling through. Even if it's Roach, right? I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly. Even if you're not even on him and like you're just walking the world, there's still so much you can. I don't know. There's way more lore. It definitely feels like way more of a completed game than Cyberpunk. Dragon Age have so many romance options.
And to give The Witcher like the little boost, right? Like Mass Effect is different, but The Witcher was based off of a book, so the lore and everything had already been written for that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of different, even though they very much screwed it up from the books to the games to even the TV show that's out now.
I haven't even watched season 2 yet. I honestly had to force myself to finish the last few episodes of season 1.
Really? I love season 1. If you didn't love season 1, season 2 is going to be really weird.
I need to go back and rewatch it. Honestly, I feel like I didn't give it as much attention as it deserved. Like I watched it, of course, but I didn't like You know what I mean? I feel like I didn't truly soak it in, appreciate it for what it was. I was also trying to watch like The Mandalorian and like 3 different animes and play games, so like I probably didn't give it the attention that it deserves, if I'm being honest.
No, I understand. But back to the Microsoft conversation.
Yeah.
This is my thing.
Mm-hmm.
I need to know that Microsoft is going to do everything that Activision did wrong, right?
Okay.
Activision lets go of what was it? Destiny. Destiny skyrockets. It does so much better. The weight is lifted off of Bungie's shoulders, and the game prospers more than it did under its watch.
Yep.
I need that same effect to happen throughout all of the games. And this is where my main concern is. If Microsoft decides to make all of those exclusive, that's going to be a kick.
Dude,
that's going to be a kick in the nuts for Sony. I mean, it's going to suck.
It's already a kick in the nuts for Sony. Literally, they're like some of their biggest icons are now exclusively like their Microsoft property. Spyro, Crash. Like when I think PlayStation, my mind automatically goes to Crash Bandicoot. And now,
Well,
like, what in the world do you do with that?
Well, and this is my thing, right? Sony was able to show that sharing the content of those can help both industries prosper. And I know that there's like a console war or whatever, but if Microsoft decides to make COD exclusive to Xbox, there is going to be outrage. And I mean,
but like
outrage.
I could see them doing that, and just so they could capitalize on like MLG and like all of that stuff. But even I don't know. I'd say just to get back at like especially the last few Call of Duties. I don't know about Vanguard because I don't really keep up with it as much. Like obviously I don't even have it installed right now. But like the last few Call of Duties, didn't the PlayStation get all of the DLC like a month beforehand? Like
yes,
it was all exclusive to that. So they very well could, just as a giant jab to Sony, at least for like a Call of Duty or two.
See, but I think they would lose so much more business.
Honestly,
like, you own COD regardless of what. If you sell it on both consoles, you're going to be making money off even selling it to Sony, because Sony would have to pay you rights to have the game even to them.
See,
so
I feel
Sony
like
would have to pay to have the game, and then you're also making money off the transactions because it doesn't go to Sony. Because Sony, all of the money that went to Sony would be directed to you, or at least a very large portion would go to you, and Sony would only be able to make such and such. You know?
I'm really curious to see like the power moves that Sony does, like I wouldn't even say to retaliate. I'm hoping that this is like a big step towards the end of console wars. Like I really love the fact that all these companies, especially Sony, because Microsoft of course goes in tandem with PC. But I love the fact that Sony is starting to put their exclusives on on PC as well. I'm hoping that eventually we get to the point where it doesn't matter if Microsoft owns Bethesda or Activision or any of that, that it's literally just all going to be universal. Because some people, like, what happens if you stumble across a PS5? If I had the opportunity to choose between that and Xbox One, I'd probably go for the PS5. It just looks cooler to me. But some people prefer the Xbox. Some people prefer mouse and keyboard. Like, you shouldn't, I don't know. I never understood the console war thing. I just like playing games, so I'm just gonna I don't care what I play it on for the most part. If my parents could only come across an Xbox One for Christmas, I hate to think that I would be restricted just because, you know what I mean? Does that make any sense? Yeah. I feel like we're to that point now where console wars shouldn't even exist. But I see exactly what you're saying, where Microsoft could just make a fucking killing.
Well, I mean,
not keeping it exclusive to Microsoft.
Well, and like, think about Bethesda, right? They bought out Bethesda, and Elder Scrolls is going to be a PC and Microsoft exclusive. Yep. Can you the fact that for someone who is a fan of the Elder Scrolls series now has to go directly to either to sell to buy an Xbox to play it or to get a PC is absolutely ridiculous. The fact that they would make that kind of a move, and I would love to have a new Elder Scrolls game, and I probably will buy it because it's on PC, but I feel incredibly guilty about buying it because there is an entire gap between people who own a Sony product who are never going to be able to play that game.
Yep.
And because it's a power move to drive sales of honestly a shittier console.
I completely agree. That's what like I literally see it on TikTok all the time, and it's like, y'all want a console? I've had these Xboxes in my back room for like 2 weeks, and it's like a pyramid of Series X's. It's like I can't get PS5s in, but we've got Xboxes. Like,
Exactly, but that's how they're going to drive sales. They said we'll invest $70 billion and try and make up for it by selling all these new consoles.
see,
But
that's just
if I'm going to buy an Xbox, I'm just going to spend the extra $600 and just
mhm,
buy a better PC.
I
So,
completely
and I
agree.
hope that's where everybody else goes, because then that's just going to kill Microsoft sales.
I don't know. I don't think I could go back to console unless I'm playing like full on exclusives. Like I'm fully genuinely considering a PS5 just to play God of War and the new Horizon Zero Dawn because they're not on PC. Like I'm considering that. But like even when I had all the consoles, I don't know. I hate that they're restricting it to Xbox. When I don't know how everybody else's mind works, but when I had all of the consoles, my Xbox was what I played Call of Duty on and what I used to play with my friends. My PlayStation was my RPGs. Like that's I don't know. It just felt more right to play RPGs on my I don't know if that makes any
It,
sense at all.
it's
It,
because Sony has always invested, except for the 360 and 3, since the 4 and the Xbox One came out. Sony has been ahead and having more drivers developed for gaming and having larger SSDs, about
mhm.
having a larger focus towards the experience, while Xbox is still focused on building the community.
Yeah, dude, Lav Boyd gets really into this stuff. I'm glad that you find this conversation riveting. Like this is I completely agree. Yeah, even like Sony, even if they didn't have the ability to maintain console price and they still pushed it out with like the same size hard drive, I've appreciated for the last two generations because I feel like it was a little later for the PS5. Could be wrong, but I'm sure it exists. I'm 99% sure. But they released a video personally from like Sony on how to upgrade your hard drive to a bigger size. And they
Yep.
didn't have the exclusivity like Microsoft has for the Xbox in the sense where
Mm-hmm.
you have to buy the Microsoft hard drive to even get more than like 500 gigs on an all digital console. Make that make sense. Like that's the dumbest move that you could.
This is
And of course the killer
oh,
DC'd.
great. You have to wait 18 minutes for another match. I don't know. This is, I guess, like my final input, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that if Xbox does make all of those games exclusive,
Mm-hmm.
I can't fathom how any community is going to be able to deal with that.
Jordy, where'd you go? Oh,
Like,
disconnected
sure, people who are on Xbox are going to be happy, right? Because they don't lose anything.
Mm-hmm.
But the outrage that will happen to gamers everywhere, like, I don't think any company should be monopolized like that.
Ari, you found me on your For You page. That's funny.
I don't
That's
know.
funny as all get out. I am live on Twitch right now. I'm really bad about reading TikTok chat. I apologize immensely. You can find me on Twitch with the exact same name. We're playing some Dead by Daylight, talking about the whole Microsoft ordeal. Feel free to jump over. Words are really hard. I'm glad that you found me on your For You page, though, Ari. That's funny. That's funny. Um, but yeah, I don't know. The whole I don't even know, man. I just wish that the whole thing could just be over and everybody could just get along and they'd stop trying to have bigger kahunas than the other one. I understand that everybody needs money and that's how you stay relevant or you end up like Sega, you know? But everybody, I feel like all of the gamers have their preferences at this point. You're either an Xbox guy, a PlayStation guy, or a PC guy, right? Why can't you just Why can't you just get any of the games on any of them, have the royalties go to the whoever they should go to, and you should be able to play with your friends? You can even be a Nintendo fan, I guess, but like the Switch is going to be lacking. You can't. I don't see you being able to play Elden Ring with somebody on a PS5 and a PC, like if you're playing on a Switch. But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. I think my thing is this. I don't understand the focus, I guess, toward like, or this is my thing. Activision owned owned Blizzard, was the creator of COD, bought out Bungie, like did all of those things, and then for Microsoft to come in and then swallow that, like I think Activision owning all of those is wrong in the first place.
Yeah.
Right. The
Yeah.
reason that so many games had succeeded whenever the PlayStation 2, PlayStation 1, and all those came out was because they were made by small parties that were people invested in the game that they were creating. Instead, now we have big major companies that want to take all of this money, buy out all these small
Big bet
companies,
left. I'll see you when you get back.
kick out the people who had started that, and then fund it with, or flood it with people that work for Microsoft. So people who think like Microsoft are going to be in those companies as the people who created it.
Agree.
Like you can't take someone who works at Microsoft and have the same mindset and the same idea about what World of Warcraft should be. You know,
I have a really big curious question now that literally just hit me, right? So if Microsoft owns Activision and Blizzard and they have all this money, does this mean that there is a possibility, because you know as well as Jordy does that I'm a big fan, is there a possibility at all that they're going to try to bring back Guitar Hero, like OG Guitar Hero, not the bullshit that came out a few years ago? Because if that's a thing, I need it in my life.
I don't think so.
And I know the licensing, like the copyright issues were like the biggest thing. I think that's the main reason Activision couldn't hang on. They couldn't afford it.
Yeah, but now it's Microsoft. But the thing is that even as successful as Guitar Hero was,
Yeah.
there's not a large enough fan base, I think, that still resides that wants that.
I mean, fair, but now we're all adults
think-
and we can afford it.
Yeah, but now that we're all adults, we buy VR and play Beat Saber.
Okay, very valid. Very valid.
So,
Or I'm just gonna J-tag my Xbox and play on my 10-year-old equipment. Like,
yeah.
like, honestly.
I don't know. This is...
That's disheartening. But that's okay, I understand.
The fact that they were able to just do all... The fact that this all happened and just dropped on everybody, and they've not dropped any... Like, they've dropped news about where they want to go, but they've not said what they want to say.
Yeah.
Like, that's the part that really gets to me, is that they bought it, and I know that they have a business plan. They're not going to spend $70 billion on these two companies and not have a plan for what they want to do. And the fact that they're just going to sit and wait, like what happens when the new COD is announced and it just says Xbox.
I was getting ready to say, you see at the beginning of it, before it even shows, it's just gonna pop up with a green screen with the Xbox logo.
Yeah, and it's not available on anything else. That would be absolutely insane. And that is how I would know that Microsoft did it for more of a business reason, which like obviously they did it for business.
Yeah,
and it is a fantastic business move. They have acquired some of the top games that are out right now, the ones that collect the largest amount of revenue, the ones that have the largest, most dedicated fan bases. You have Halo, COD, and Overwatch, and World of Warcraft and StarCraft all in the same hand.
Yep.
And that is and Bethesda in the middle of it too. Like you have
all of it.
Like you have like the council of games right there.
Yep.
And then Sony has like God of War and The Last of Us, but like a lot of those games, other than God of War, I don't know where you take any of your other titles. Like you could make another Ratchet and Clank, but
yeah,
I mean that's not going to hold out. And I loved the last one, and I played it a lot, but that's not going to hold out.
Jack and Daxter's, like Hooper, but I mean they could be doing a lot of things that they're not doing. Yeah,
but like you're relying on Naughty Dog to pretty much fund everything you're doing. Naughty Dog and
was also the mobile market share? Wait, what do you mean, Brookside?
Oh, they bought Candy Crush too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they have a ton of revenue coming in now. That $70 billion is going to be nothing in the next year or two.
Well, they'll make it back in like 6 months, especially like if they can do something with World of Warcraft, because I know that was another big thing. Not only like what they were doing like within the company, but within the game itself with lack of content. Like it's gonna be insane. They could make that back like easy. How do you feel about all this, Jordy? You've been hella quiet.
I'm excited for it to come on Game Pass.
Jordy's like, I just get it all for free.
Well, and game, like the fact that that's all going to get flooded to Game Pass is going to be insane.
I am genuinely curious. Do you think they're gonna make the move where they put World of Warcraft on console, like eventually?
No,
You don't think so?
no, no.
At
There's
all?
no possible way that that works out in their favor.
I mean, it could be one of
Because
those
you're
games.
taking something that's sacred, dude. Like
Yeah.
World of Warcraft is not something that you fuck with very
mean-
easily, and you can't take a game that's expansive with that much lore, with that much lineage, I guess, that
Yeah.
much history, and
That
put
makes
it onto a console for some 12-year-old to go, I'm gonna play World of Warcraft. Like, grown men play World of Warcraft. You don't
Yep.
get World of
they-
Warcraft has very few new players, and I think moving to
Yeah.
console would be a huge mistake.
But at the same time, I mean, those grown men all started the same. Like my old dad, he started playing when it first came out, way back in the day. He was a little kid. Tim the Tatman started playing when he was little. Like everybody's got to start somewhere. You know what I mean?
I agree, but it's not like COD where you can jump in on Christmas and it'd be this great, fantastic thing.
Fair.
Like
Vanilla WoW did not age well, in my opinion. Like,
yeah, and you to start off in what is it when you start the main game? You start off in the Battle of Azeroth now, and you have
Yeah.
to work your way up.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, you can't expect to load. If you put it on console, I'm not saying that it wouldn't be successful.
yeah,
I'm saying that there is a very large proportion of people who hold that game very sacred. Like the people who play that game all the time are people who are going to play that game until they fucking die.
I mean, valid.
And-
Go ahead. Sorry.
You'd be fucking with a fan base at that point, and when you lose that, then you're in some real deep shit.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
then
it's
you
not
just,
like they-
you got
No. Go ahead.
because you'd be losing a large amount of the money that you just pulled into it.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. All I was gonna say was that there's not much further down, in my opinion, that they could go. Like even with like I got pretty into WoW, like to the point where I wanted to buy the lore books and I wanted to actually get behind, because like you said, the where it starts you now, like you miss out on so much. And I don't think that vanilla like or WoW Classic or whatever, I don't think it aged well at all. So like I can't make myself go back and play that unless you download a butt ton of mods for it. Like
Yeah.
it's just I'd love to learn more about it. I got the latest expansion, Shadowlands or whatever, and I literally never even played it. I bought the expansion and literally the next day canceled my subscription and uninstalled. I didn't even remember that I bought I did not care enough to even go through that. I don't think I even got more than one character to quote unquote like max level to where I could actually start doing the cool stuff. I don't know. It's like
And-
all I was gonna say is that there's not much lower that they could go.
Yeah. I think Microsoft has the assets to be able to improve all the games that they currently have.
Yeah.
I think that if they pay enough attention to detail, they're going to make this a very successful, a very good investment.
I saw your follow, Ari. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. We're having a very in-depth Microsoft acquisition conversation.
I don't know. I think Microsoft is going to... At this point, I think it's like a 60-40. I think there's a 60% chance that everything is fine and everything will improve and that all these companies will actually benefit from this merger, and they will finally, like a lot of these places will finally be able to breathe, and places can finally start paying their employees and will start being held accountable for their actions.
And it'll be okay. I guess time will tell.
And there's a 40% chance that they are gonna fuck it all up.
Well, I know Jordy
And-
mentioned
and-
earlier today too. On that same note, Ubisoft announced like a Game Pass like package too. I don't know if it's Xbox exclusive or what, but Ubisoft's gonna start doing something like that. I guess they felt left out. They came out of left field and I think officially announced it.
I think at this point, if Sony doesn't make an offer to buy Ubisoft,
Could you
they're gonna-
imagine
they're gonna
Assassin's Creed
lose.
being exclusive? I feel like they could do
No.
something really cool with that.
Well, with how terrible the PS5 launch went, they're probably not worried about video games at the moment.
terrible.
Okay, but did you see like their solution to
PS5
that?
launch was fucking awful.
Did you
Not
see what their
for
solution
them.
was? Their solution
for-
was literally, we know that we don't have enough PS5s, so we're gonna make you some more PS4s.
I mean,
That's
but
l-
that's the same that they did with the graphics cards.
Yeah, and that's absolutely awful. And I looked more into that after you told me that they announced those, and it's literally like lower end graphics cards that are like $200 that can't
Yeah.
even really be used for mining or anything of the sort. It's like, bro, I just want a 3060 so I can experience like some decent like, you know what I mean? I don't care to
Yeah.
do all that. It drives me up the freaking wall.
And I don't know, to what you were saying, Jordy, I think while the PlayStation 5 launch was bad for the individual, it was probably one of the most successful launches they've had. Yeah, there's a lot of disgruntlement, but it's not towards Sony. Sony isn't the one at fault.
No.
The fact that they're making all of these and then people are coming in, it's mostly a scalper option. And if that's going to get fixed, then you have to go at the industries who are selling them. The fact that Walmart has a PlayStation 5 lockdown online where you have to buy online, they're only supporting that. That's Walmart, that's Best Buy, that's anyone who is selling them who isn't doing it.
Dude, it's literally all of them. Even with Target, like, even my store, it's online only for PS5 purchases, right? They told me the other day that I had off that some guy did 3 separate orders under 3 different names so he could buy all the ones that we offered. How did that hit me? That made no sense, but okay. But yeah, it's completely in agreement. It's what their lack of doing. I know that they try to come up with like an anti-bot stuff, but it's not really effective or working. Dang, man! How did you know? How did you know? There's no way!
I don't know, she completely missed me.
She was focused on the bright red shirt.
I don't know, man.
Top of the stairs.
I'm very concerned with the future of gaming.
Lav, do one for me. A big one, please. Last time, I'm terrified to do those. Last time I did one, I ended up knocking out. I was like, I want pizza. Let's order pizza. And then I fell asleep for 15 hours. So, I cannot handle. More power to you, homie. I also haven't said in a while, I'm live on Twitch right now, guys. We are having pretty in-depth conversation about the whole Microsoft acquisition ordeal. Curious on your guys' thoughts. My Twitch name is literally the same as my TikTok name. Feel free to jump over, playing some Dead by Daylight. I'm gonna head back to stream, but I hope to see you guys there. I don't know. I would like very much to help Jordy join the world of PC so we don't even have to worry about it.
Well, and that's me. Like, for people like me and you, Teach, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
Like, if you buy the PlayStation, you get all the Sony exclusives. If you have a PC, you're gonna get all the Microsoft exclusives. So it does not matter.
Yep.
But for the casual player, dude, that's tough.
They just asking for more money. Come here. Hey.
Oh, you want me to touch you?
I was gonna touch you, but that works too. Yeah.
What are you gonna touch me for? I'm not hurt.
Oh, I was thinking you were Jordy for some reason. Sorry. You all look alike in the dark. You need a damn PC. You really do, Lav. Like, honestly. And I was telling Daddy Kachan earlier, like... Yes, building your PC is super expensive, especially right now, but, like, you can find hella good deals on pre-builds. And you can get good graphics cards, because they're running them at way better prices than, like, literally for the same price as what you can get a regular graphics card right now.
Yeah.
For like 2K, you can get a hella good computer with like a 3080 in it. It's insane.
Yeah, the 3080 alone is like $1,600.
Yep. So you are definitely getting your money's worth, and then some going pre-built right now. I stand firmly with that.
Yeah. As someone who is very much against pre-builts, it's the only way to be able to get into this kind of culture, into this kind of into this level of gaming, because otherwise you're just you're scrounging around for parts that aren't useful anymore.
I'm just gonna finish this gen. She's gonna get me. Yep. I'm gonna try to get her away from Jordy, but I don't know how successful it's gonna be.
I'm gonna drop down and get him.
Oh my god.
Just coming down the hallway.
Yep, she wants my tank, bro. No, leave me alone. I did nothing. I finished. Oh god. X Games mode, bro. Let's go. Let's go. I thought there was a window there. No! I should have cleared that.
Oh shit, she's coming right here.
I'm on first floor.
Yeah.
She went to my right No, she's
Yeah,
going
just-
out to the courtyard. Dang, man, I should have had that. Your dad is a software engineer. He could probably hook you up. Honestly, love. But no joke, I would definitely look into pre-builds. NZXT has pretty good deals. It's like $800 now for a decent, like somewhat decent computer. iBuyPower and CyberPower have pretty good ones too. It's like a little over $1,000 for pretty solid builds.
Overkill PCs they're doing a really good job too right now. They're a
Overkill,
lot smaller. Yeah. But
And,
they do a really good job.
Artesian PC too, which I hadn't heard about them until recently, but they do. I think they sponsor. Who was it? Nick Merckx.
Did you just say artesian?
Yeah.
That's artisan, my guy.
No, it's like ARTESIAN. I swear it was artesian. I swear there's an I in there.
There is an I. It's still artisan.
Oh, my bad, homie. Bro, she coming for my pee-pee.
I mean, I could be wrong. I'm not gonna say that I'm 100% right, but
No, I'm pretty sure you are. I have no idea. You can get something with your tax return if you can. I definitely would, Lav. It's gonna make your streaming so much easier too. The only thing I will tell you is with the cheaper starting out PCs, depending on the graphics settings and what games you want to stream, you might struggle doing a really high quality stream and playing games at the same time unless you've got some pretty decent RAM and a decent CPU.
yeah.
So RAM is something you definitely want to look at. I run 32 gigs of RAM in just my gaming PC, but it did pretty solid before I got my other PC, and like I was streaming from just one computer. So RAM is definitely something you want to take into consideration. 16 minimum. Don't do 8 gigs. 16 minimum.
Yeah, you do 8, you might as well shoot your computer in the face.
And Jordy, I was thinking like seeing where Microsoft goes with it, if you're interested in trying WoW, because I don't think it can do much else if I'm being 100% honest with you. If you're interested in trying WoW with like me and Void, my really old computer could run WoW, because you can run WoW on a potato, or like a Samsung fridge or whatever. Like you can run WoW on anything. So if that's something that interests you, you can definitely happy birthday. But it's not going to be able to play, like it struggles to play Warzone on low, and that was like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So if you want something to like get your foot in the door, but it's not going to really, if anything, because it does have upgraded RAM, if anything, I have no problem just giving it to you, but you'd still need a graphics card, unless you wanted to do the wireless, like the internet, stream your console to the computer and then use screen cap to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it could be a step in the right direction if that's something that you're interested in. I have a keyboard and a mouse and everything. I don't know if I have a spare mouse pad I could throw your way. I might actually. But if you want it, if yours, just remind me when you come up.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
right.
taking off weekend. Well, I'm trying to take off, but they've hidden the time off book.
They've hidden it? I wonder why.
Well, I've told them multiple times I'm not working. I will be in Winston-Salem.
It's true. I just leave my PC streaming that I have now and another for games. That's exactly what I do, Lab. That's exactly what I do. I've got a lower end one that I use just for streaming, and then I've got the one that I built to play my games on. Which the lower end one wasn't bad. I literally just upgraded it to 16 gigs of RAM because it was starting to lag. That's what happened and caused robo-teage on transitions. But yeah, anything to help. I know he would do the same thing for me, so I'd be more than happy to. The only thing I can't give you is a capture card because I use it for my computers. If I wasn't using it, I would probably honestly just give it to you too, because I wouldn't have any other use for it. I don't stream consoles, you know? Which you can find I'm gonna tab out a game. I'm dead anyways. You can probably find... I know Elgato had some really good sales for Black Friday, and they're probably over, but you could probably find pretty decent capture card for next to nothing. Even the HD60 is really, really good. How much is it though?
Skill checks are silent.
That's lame. Let's see, shop now.
No, bro, I almost had her too. Right, I'll take it.
I don't know if it'll let you do it on like Klarna or anything. The capture card that I use is 200, but you might be able to find it open box at Best Buy or something too.
That's true.
Or you could get a different one. You don't have to get the exact like what I'm using. I just have This is the only kind of capture card I've ever used. It is like Elgato upgrades every so often. So I don't know how the other ones do as far as like quality and all that jazz.
Yeah.
So,
Good
yeah.
shit, Gage.
Thank you.
let's see. They do have the older capture card, but it's only 160, but it looks like you can't order it. Which dang, actually, I wonder if you could find that online. If you can find the HD60 Pro, it's only 180. It's a little cheaper and it goes directly into your PC, but you're not. I don't think that would work. Yeah, I would do the Game Capture HD60 S Plus. It's 200, and I've had mine for like 2 years now, give or take. Pretty good. I think the only thing you need is what 2 HDMI cables. It comes with the USB cable
It's not bad.
for it. Yeah, we could get you situated, homie. It wouldn't be that big of a deal at all.
Oh yeah.
And the PC itself, I
Bro.
mean, you could run OBS, so it wouldn't be so strenuous on it. I could help you get all that set up. It doesn't take much. And then, like I said, if you wanted to do WoW, I think it's free up to like level 30, and then you have to do subscription. Yeah, but you could at least try it before you buy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
And the subscription's like 15, but I could definitely get. I feel like WoW, or like even playing it solo, is a game that I could get balls to the wall in. So I don't know if you like MMORPGs, but they're fun. That's so much bigger than what I have right now. Yeah, that's what I think. I think that's what you were saying before, Lav. You have one of the older ones. That's what I had initially too, and mine died on me, so I upgraded to the 60S, and it's really nice. I love it. I could not be mad. OBS is so much better than Streamlabs, especially if you have like less RAM. It's way less strenuous on your computer, but I just love how convenient Streamlabs is. Unfortunately, like right now, I can see my chat. I can add all of like my widgets that I want. I can add my overlays. Like Streamlabs has like the emote wall already built in, so I can just cover the entire screen with emotes when you guys put them in chat. It gives me the ability to do this lower third down here where it has all of my socials. Like, it just makes it so much easier, and it has all of the different overlay options that you could use. OBS, you'd have to purchase that or make your own or find a free file online. But I always had issues getting my alerts to work. So
Fuck.
my RAM hated Streamlabs, but Streamlabs is so much easier to use for sure. Yeah, Streamlabs is very strenuous on your computer. That's the worst part about it, unfortunately. Streamlabs is awful. It's very, very hard on your computer. So that's why I'm glad that I have two. So it doesn't really bother anything. I was running Streamlabs just fine with 2 Google Chrome tabs up, iTunes, Discord, Voice Meter, Touch Portal on 8 gigs of RAM, and I was streaming. But it wasn't playing the game too, so if you're playing a game and streaming from a PC, I would not use Streamlabs.
What is she doing, Gage?
Pairing
Just saying,
me.
you know, I'm dead.
On that same note, I've said it before, but I'll say it again. Feel free to jump over to the Twitch first. We are live right now playing some Dead by Daylight, talking a little bit about PC streaming, or streaming in general, and the whole Microsoft ordeal with the acquisition of Activision and Blizzard today. I'm curious, what do you guys think they're going to go with it? We're also really, really curious if it's going to, like, Call of Duty is going to end up being an Xbox exclusive or not, and what that means for the future of gaming. So feel free to jump on over to chat. I'm going to head back into stream now, but I hope to see you guys there. Yeah, I'm very curious. I don't know. I feel like, going back to our conversation earlier, I apologize. I feel like if they don't make it like console exclusive, I feel like it would be really dumb. They'll probably leave like Call of Duty on all platforms. But Xbox will definitely get the DLC first again, and I had another point and I completely lost it because I blinked, honestly.
I don't know if they can do the DLC first thing again, because now that everything is based on a battle pass.
Fair.
What I mean, and they can't, when they release the new maps and stuff, when they do the updates, that affects Warzone. So I don't think they can even do that anymore. I think what they could do is just say that, you know, we're gonna give you access to this game, Sony, but the thing is that we're gonna take, you know,
X amount of
40% of sales, and then we're going to take I'd say like 60 to 70% of all online transactions. That way you're still at least making some profit as if they were going to buy the game from you, but all profit will be automatically redirected to us, or Sony will lose money because all the transactions won't be. It'll be like how we sell Straight Talk cards. We're just a third party, so Sony might not even make anything off of selling COD points on the store.
God, that would be so awful.
A lot of their money transactions, I'm gonna assume, have to go directly to Activision.
Yeah.
Now Microsoft. So
that would make sense. Are you nervous at all, Jordy? Or how do you feel about it? Like honestly, just as a like strictly console player right now, anyways.
I mean, I was already planning on leaving console.
Mm-hmm.
So whether they do or don't really doesn't bother me at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll have my Xbox as like a backup, which will be pretty helpful.
Yeah.
Very fair, very fair. I'm really curious to see what plays out. I'm wondering how long it's going to take before any sort of business plan leaks, or if they're just going to make us literally wait until like the new COD announcement or like anything of the sorts. You know what I mean?
Oh, they've already said they're going to be independent until it's finalized, and it's not going to be finalized until 2022, possibly 2023.
Okay.
No, it'll happen this year.
You think so?
They're not going to waste time. No.
They will probably. Go ahead. Sorry.
They want to make the most money out of their investment as fast as possible. I'm sorry, $70 billion for any company is fucking strenuous.
Yeah.
So for them, they're not going to wait till 2023. What they're going to wait for is they're going to wait for all the games to come out on release, and that's when they're going to drop the news. Because, or like when they start releasing the trailers, that's when we're going to start getting a real look at what their future business plan is.
Ooh, Go ahead.
Good.
No, go ahead. I'll wait.
I think 2022 is going to be their trial run, and 2023 is when they're going to bust out all the fucking stops. That's when the newest COD is going to come out. They're finally going to release Overwatch 2. They're finally going to release the new Elder Scrolls. They're going to bust out all the big titles and make as much money as they can in 2023. And that is either the best year of gaming since 2013, 2016, or it is going to be the worst year ever, because they're going to have so much activity going on that nobody's going to know what the fuck is going to happen. Everything is going to be rushed, and everything is going to fucking suck.
On top of all the hype that it's going to have and all the
Oh yes. When you fully announce Elder Scrolls 6, you're expecting to put out something fucking amazing. It has been 10 years since over 10 years since you've released the last one, and you've remade it so many times that people are fucking done with Skyrim, bro. We need some new material, and if you release Elder Scrolls 6 and it turns out like Cyberpunk, you will have killed yourself as a business.
Gage,
what?
Will you please do like a video game podcast?
Bro, man's getting so heated. I hope you know I'm clipping this entire stream and it's going on YouTube. It's going on YouTube in the morning.
I'm down.
So
that's fine.
Our thoughts on Microsoft's buyout?
Yeah.
Oh, bro, I could do a lot. I'm just I don't. This when they announced that they bought Bethesda, I was like, man, that really sucks, because now we've lost, you know, as someone who has been PlayStation very hardcore from the beginning, you lost something that that's gonna really hurt, because Skyrim had such a huge impact on gaming, man. It changed the entire thing, the entire idea behind what a single player RPG should be like. The map, the amount of side quests, the hours that you can put in, the amount of times you can beat the game and still have more to do. Even a decade later, Skyrim, I think, is still probably one of the, if not the best RPG game. Like, the only one that I think really holds a candle to it in my mind's eye would be The Witcher, because of The Witcher was so much more colorful. It had all the side quests that you needed. It had an impeccable like romance system. It had everything that it needed.
And it came out 4 years later though, but like I just genuinely miss, like, I know COVID is a thing. I genuinely miss, like, how you were saying 2013 to 2016 was like the peak of gaming. I miss the hype around midnight releases. Like, honestly, right. I straight up missed that.
Waiting.
Well, I worked at GameStop during those, and you know what? I had no problem. GameStop, I agree, Lav. I completely agree that we need a podcast. This is fun. But I worked at GameStop in that era, I was there for Modern Warfare 3. I was there for the Skyrim Midnight. I was there for Destiny. I was for all of that. It was so fucking awesome. Pardon my language. But like, we got pizza. The local Rena Center had no problem letting us borrow, like, Gage, you were there. We had 70-inch TVs, even for Madden. I was hyped to work those midnight releases, even though I worked a 12-hour shift that day, because it was so much fucking fun. Call of Duty, we had the whole bus come out. We'd have tournaments. You'd win like a copy of the game, or you'd win like something of the sorts. It was so much fun. You had no problem being out till 1 in the morning, hanging out and getting this game, so you could go home or grab McDonald's on the way, go home, install this shit, and immediately jump on, knowing that you're calling out of work in the morning. And like, it was just so much fun. And then they just slowly started pushing it back and back. And I think before, if they even do midnights now, you can get it at like 9 o'clock at night the night before now, and they're just like, here you go, have fun. They don't do anything big and fun for it anymore. Like,
when... Go ahead, sorry.
No, you're fine, go ahead.
I remember when Advanced Warfare dropped, and I went to the midnight release, and when they were having the sniper 1v1 duels, but they had 3... I don't know if you were still there at that point, but I remember there being at least 2 TVs, and there's an entire line, and while you're waiting in line, you're playing the game, you're getting the posters, you're getting all the... You're getting like the accessories and necklaces and everything. This is my thing. With such a big emphasis on everything that's been going on with Twitch and YouTube, and the fact that even Facebook does streaming now, with such a large focus on an online community, the aspect of a real world one is realistically not gonna be the same anymore.
I mean, fair.
Like, those were great times, but I don't think it'll ever get back to that. Now, what I do think is that with this new merger, if Microsoft doesn't encourage COD partners to do something like that, like, could you, like, when Tim the Tatman streams the new COD, why not do giveaways every hour for the first 24 hours for one of his giveaway streams? Why doesn't Nick Merckx do it? Why doesn't Kurt? Like, they do it every now and again, but why, if not on release, when you have every COD partner just flooding the fans and the communities?
And it would get your name out there too. Like, hey,
exactly.
Go ahead and be in chat. Like, make sure you type exclamation point like rocker. Like, you know what I mean? If you're in a Tatcha stream or whatever have you, and it's like, all right, so every like 6 hours or every 4 hours, we're gonna do a drawing. You're gonna win. You have a chance to win a copy of the game. You have a chance to win some rocker merch that's signed by us, like, or like maybe like, I don't know, all kinds of stuff, like you were saying. I completely I see where you're coming from. That the physicalities aren't gonna be there anymore. But if we're online, like, even when Tim was doing a Chipotle sponsored giveaway for Halo, you had a chance to win a Master Chief helmet. I don't think it was a helmet, something Master Chief related. You had a chance to win a console that was Chipotle and Halo themed, like stuff like that. Microsoft would be missing out too if they didn't partner with some of the COD partners and do like an exclusive console for each one. Like, I would go fucking batshit for a chance to win a 100 Thieves console. I don't even like Xbox like playing the console anymore, and I'd want a 100 Thieves Xbox. I feel like you're like low-key the same way about an Optic one. I don't know.
No.
I agree. I agree. That would be so fucking cool. Not only would you have like a green and white and black Xbox One, but you could get a controller to go with it that maybe is signed by them, or if the box themselves is signed by them, because obviously if I got that, I would never open it. It would sit on my shelf and be a collector's item for me. But I agree that you need to have some kind of hype around it other than going, it's available at 9 p.m., go ahead, have fun. And then it's broken and busted, and there's I don't know.
This is my thing. With the amount of resources and everything that are going to be going into these companies, I would really like to see a PlayStation 2 finished game.
What do you mean?
When you played a PlayStation 2 finished game, did you have to get updates on the day after?
No.
Did you have to sit there and wait for something to change for the game to be playable, even after buying it and waiting on launch?
No, but to be fair, I feel like they're just so worried about pushing it out, and everybody's so worried about the multiplayer experience now that they don't really care about all that. And the PlayStation just didn't have. There was very few games that had the ability, or very few people that even had the ability even to go online back in that day, unless you're playing like SOCOM or a couple like fantasy games. I get what you're saying though. I wish they would finish games before they released them.
Yeah, and I get that on release traffic is a big thing. I would just, I don't know, something about getting on a game and it running to the fullest extent is just something that's not been
done in years.
for a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the pig and cheese here. It's the pig and cheese here. It's the pig and cheese here.
Okay.
Oh shit!
But yeah,
scared the
I completely
fuck out of
agree.
me.
Again, I feel like, I don't know. PlayStation, I saw a post the other day, some PlayStation 2 devs did shit dirty too. They just, it wasn't as obvious. I don't know if it's because we were younger, or we didn't know what to expect as much back then, because the games were still, like, very, very in the, like, the baby stage. But, even I've seen forums from PS2 developers who were like, yeah, they said that they wanted 30 frames per second on release, so I just changed the coding to basically appear to be that way when it was still a very solid 20. No, I don't know. They did stuff dirty back then too, just not as much. I completely agree. I wish games were a lot more finished. Even with Skyrim, I finally, it took me years, but I went back and finished Skyrim.
Yeah.
On release of Skyrim, I was one of the ones that got like a good 12 hours in, and my save file got corrupted. So I didn't even bother with it for like a year and some change because it bugged out, and I'd have to start over. And I didn't want to do that.
My cousin, before they patched the Iron Dagger glitch, where you could get armor rating to like super, all the way to max in 30 minutes. Before they did that, had max armor rating, max sneak, max magic, like all your basics.
Yeah.
And his game glitched because he dropped a butcher note, and the butcher note multiplied to 4,560 something, and it multiplied to that, and the game just glitched because it couldn't handle the amount of
Oh my god, bro. It's like
did a cyclone. He had like 800 hours in at that time.
it's like the wheel of cheese glitch or whatever. Oh my god, like the cheese wheel glitch. Like I remember there being an inventory glitch for all of that. I've seen videos of like a man running down a mountain with just hordes of cheese wheels following him. I'm sorry you feel like you're listening to a podcast, Lab. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?